Oh, yeah. I'd like to call the property service meeting to order. First, I'd like to begin by acknowledging that we are on the Mi'kmaq, the ancestral and non-ceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people. Also, I'd like to acknowledge that we have new cameras system, and the recording is linked to our mics. So speak into your mics, please. It'll make it a lot clearer. Okay. First, on the approval agenda.
So move, Peter.
Second by Peter, second by Councilor Dave Parker. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Count my name. Motion carried. Next is emergency resolutions. Are there any emergency resolutions? More time, is there any emergency resolutions? Hearing none, we'll move on. Is there any errors, omissions, or corrections to the minutes of September 18th, 2023? Errors, omissions, and corrections to the minutes of September 18th, 2023. One more time. Any errors, omissions, corrections to the minutes of September 18th, 2023? Seeing none, consider those approved. Next was correspondence. Wasn't circulated, it was just a thank you for the Trenton and Saltings, Fifth Down and Penfield Canada for our contribution to the breakfast for backpack program. Next is reports. First is the Public Works and Development Officer's report.
So
Moved by Councilor Keel, second by Councilor Butler. Question, here we go. Board Parker.
Under number 3, Mr. Chair, Stanley Drive, Berkeley Ridge, paving property owner survey. The way the last line reads, it concerns me. I know what it means, but it says, as such, the department does not recommend proceeding with road improvement work. Which I know it's meant to be with paving, but it could be interpreted by residents that roads that we're not going to improve the road in, and there are continuous demands for some improvements. But I didn't want people to read that as being, you don't want to pave, so therefore we're going to leave it the way it is.
That's fair. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, the intention there was to say that we don't recommend proceeding with the paving. To continue with improvement work of potholes and things like that, definitely.
Because there have been concerns, I know, lately about the mowing and the weeds and the potholes and whatnot. So somebody could interpret that to mean the opposite.
Yeah, you're correct. And sorry, apologies for the ambiguity.
Well, that's good. I'll be clear it up. Thank you.
Okay. Councilor Dave Parker.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. First question on the East Peckler School demolition. Is it on time and is it on budget?
Awesome. Thank you. Yes, it is. It's both on time and on budget. We expect for the big time structural demolition work to take place in November.
One more. Okay. Number 10, we refer to Greenhill Estates subdivision engineering. We refer to the department requested additional information. Is that the Department of the Environment?
No, that's my department. We requested additional information from the applicant.
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Seeing none. All those in favor, say aye.
I
Count my name. Motion carries. Next is the Development Officer's report.
Move, Peter.
By Councilor Bowles. By Councilor Keel. Questions? None. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Count my name. Motion carries. Next is the emergency service report. Councilor Parker, second by Councilor Elliott. Questions? So Dave Parker.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. First of all, I really appreciate I appreciate the color coding. That's very easy to see. Under other 37, what would those be?
Thank you for the question. So other, in that category is anything, any abnormal call. So for example, power pole fires are generally a non-consistent call, but over the last month we had a considerable amount because of Hurricane Lee that came through. So that's the reason for the rise on that, but it could be anything, whether it's a water rescue, any nuanced call really falls under other.
And if I may, the Alma Fire Department received 11 others. Is that unusual that one department would get so many of them?
Yeah, there's really no rhyme or reason to it over the storm, but Elma was at 10 separate power pole fires that day. So they proved that most of those other calls just that day.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, anybody else? Seeing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Tell my name, motion carried. Next is the building inspection report. Oh, Peter. The Councilor Buller. Second by Deputy Warden. Question? Seeing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Tell my name, motion carried. Next is the fire inspector's report. I'll second. Councilor Turner, second by Councilor Dorr.
And
Question, go ahead. Councilor.
thank you, Mr. Chair. Could you explain to me some of the headings on this? I have a really difficult time reading this chart. I've expanded it a little bit, but I still am not able to read what the headings are. So if you could, somebody could briefly walk me through this chart, please.
Yeah, thank you for the question. And looking at this report as well, it's important to note this report was generated from our new software, the ABX fire inspection software. It's the first iteration of the report. We're sort of testing out different styles. Looking at this report in front of me, it's very difficult to read. So I think for the next month, we're going to look at how we can make that a little bit easier to read. But the top graph is essentially inspections for the month. So the first set of bars that you have there is your life safety inspections. So that's total inspections for the month. And then the next one is the re-inspections. So for, as we go on throughout months, he'll have a list that he inspects initially, and then he'll have a list that he needs to go out and re-inspect that same month. So that's what that is. And then the third one is all that data put together. So we could actually see the trend of people turning their buildings around and making them more fire safe through that. The graph below actually breaks down what our most common areas of concern are when we're doing fire inspections. So the biggest one we have in the county right now is emergency lighting. Second up is fire extinguishers and so on and so forth. So as I said before, I completely understand. I can barely read this sitting here. So I'm aware of that. I'll have it fixed up for next month. Thank you.
Councilor Dave Parker.
Thank you, Councilor Turner. I had the same difficulty. I tried the same remediation, but it didn't work very well. I do notice there's 3 of them on the left-hand side. I believe they all say electrical, electrical, electrical. Why would there be 3 different electrical categories?
I can answer that. So it's actually separate rooms in different areas. It's just not labeled properly in the system yet. So everything that's listed here, we basically have to build as we go, and as we have new things, new reports that we write, there's new areas that start. So those 3 should be labeled as electrical room 1, electrical room 2, those types of things, and they're just not on this report yet. But that's
You're telling me that your work will improve.
that's what I'm telling you. Yeah,
Thank you.
exactly what I'm telling you.
Thank you very much.
Councilor Butler.
Mr. Chair, my question, 11, is in regards to the Valley Communications. I understand this is a relatively new avenue that we're going down with our dispatching How is that working?
Thank you for the question. That's, I'm glad to speak on that. So, as of about 6 months ago, we had all of our county departments actually make the transition over to Valley Communications. So we currently have one dispatching provider for our county, instead of 5, which was the original number. And we've seen just excellent work from them. They're a group of real professionals. I've heard very, very few complaints, and this new software actually speaks directly to our dispatch center. So every inspection Jason goes out and performs, it logs in the dispatch center. And when a department's dispatched out, say, the wellness center, the dispatcher can actually look up and see the electrical rooms here, your fire department connections are here, closest hydrant would be here, and they can provide that information in real time. So it's working very well.
Anybody else? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Tell by name, motion carried. Next is a street light for 36 McDonald Drive, Chance Harbor. Officer,
I just will be here, stop right there, 36 again.
Second.
moving second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Tell by name, motion carried. Adjourn the meeting.
Not a record, but for
Sign record, because it's.
it's acceptable.
11 minutes.
I can slow somebody down.
Okay, well, I'll call the financial services meeting to order. I would like to begin by acknowledging that we are in Mi'kmaq, the ancestral and unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people. First, we'll have the approval of the agenda.
We'll move, Peter.
Moved by Councillor Boyle, seconded by Councillor Parker. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Contrary-minded nay. Motion carried. Any emergency resolutions? Any emergency resolutions? Any emergency resolutions? Seeing none, we'll move on. Any errors, omissions, corrections to minutes of September 18th? Any errors, omissions, corrections to the minutes of September 18th? And one final time, any errors, omissions, corrections to the minutes of September 18th? Seeing none, we'll consider those minutes approved. Next, we have reports. The first is the communication report for the month of September. Your pleasure, councillors. Moved by Councillor Palmer, seconded by Deputy Warden Murray. Any questions or comments on the communications report? Okay, seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Contrary-minded nay. Motion's carried. Next, we have the warden's report for the month of September.
I'll move
Moved by Councillor Dewar,
it. Second.
seconded by Councillor Turner. Any questions or comments? Yes, go ahead, Councillor Turner.
Thank you. In regards to the Empire AGM, so was that behalf of the county we were there? Is that the Empire AGM?
Yes, I'm not a big shareholder.
No, I'm mistaken. It's the county shareholder.
I regularly, as warden, I regularly get invites to some of the large companies in the county to their AGMs. So I hadn't had a chance to take advantage of it before, so it was a new experience for me. And usually nobody gets up to speak at these things. Everything's cut and dry and it goes pretty smooth. So when I put my hand up to speak, they were wondering what was coming. That all I was doing was on behalf of the county, saying how valuable service is to this county, and if we want them to stay here, and their head office here. So I just thought it was important to say that. It's obviously known in the county that we need them. We're now the people who are large companies, but no, it's something that I generally get in my suit, but I don't get to very many.
Councillor Turner. Any other questions or comments?
Sure.
Yes, Warden.
I'll just, if nobody else has any questions, I just wanted to say, I was proud of our municipality on Saturday past. When we did the tree planting subcommittee of the climate change committee, was in the front of the wellness center, giving away trees to our residents. 2 for residents, these were hardwood trees. I think they had 2 kinds of maple and some red oak. But I think it was good on our council to be seen as doing something about climate change. They all complain about it, worry about it and everything else, but this was an opportunity to really, show ourselves doing something. And the big boat cars were very happy to get they were good sized streets, too. They were happy on them were. And, my brother, Dr. Dave Parker was heading it up along with, Ed and Diana Kennedy were very important there. But there's one young lady I want to mention on our committee. She's on our climate change committee, but also on the pre-planning subcommittee. Her name is Violet McCullough, and she's a student at Northumberland, resident of Salt Spring, or up in that way. But she's been loyal. She showed up at every planting, whether it's a spring planting, we planted the evergreens in the spring and the deciduous trees in the fall. Violet's been very loyal, and we even didn't have to bring a friend along with her to help. And my brother Dave and I were rolling these tree protectors, and they were rolling right next to us. I think they were doing us about 2 or 3 at once. But it's great to have some young people involved, and I just want to say it was a good day for our municipality. I think we've seen it probably doing something constructive.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Morgan. Yes, Councilor Parker.
If I may start off, that's on the agenda. It was a good day. Things went smoothly. We had Ed and Diane, myself and Robert, Violet and her friend Sam. There was a young woman there, she's autistic. She's Diane's little sister, big brother, big sister, little sister, and her mother, Lisa Bent, was there. And we had just about the right amount of people power rolling up these here, getting them available. And the crowd, unlike last year when they all rushed in about 9 o'clock, crowd, there were certain a couple times when they were backed up a little bit. But for the most part, we're spread out over that roughly 30 hours. Went very smoothly. People were happy. There were a few that were unhappy because some of them cut down to one tree. It's getting down to just a few dozen left. And then around 10 after 12, we decided to the Pennsylvania First Nations School and asked for a few trees to plant. So we took the last dozen. And they exactly the right number of tree shelters. And they're going down to the Pennsylvania First Nations School. But all in all, it was a very successful day. And as my brother said, there's so much negativity around climate change issue, and it is a huge and concerning issue. There's some little thing that's positive. Felt good. And most of the people are getting the trees up there, but thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Councilor Parker. Any final comments or questions on the board's report? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary-minded, nay. Motion carried. Next, we have a power report from Councilor Wood. Okay.
I sent the report out to everyone yesterday, so hopefully you had a chance to read it. Have any questions, I don't mind answering them for you. And also send out the drone file that we have on the Victor Place. Just wanted to get you to see what it's looking like as it comes along with the construction. But I just want to say we have 2 very major projects going on in the same which we should be extremely proud of. And both are contracts for both Glasgow and Victor. So I think that's a huge plus to the Victor staff that do the work that you bring those projects on. So anyways, any questions on it?
Okay, thank you very much, Councilor Warden. Any questions on the power report? Okay, seeing none, we'll move along. Accounts paid for the month of September. Go ahead, Councilor Thompson. Okay, do you want to move them? Sure.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilor Thompson and seconded by Councilor Palmer.
Check number 20978. $18,975 to Can Forecast Logic itself. FCM project. What is that?
That's our AI asset management project.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councilor Thompson. Yes, Councilor Parker.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Check number 21157. Wondering what that is. is $12,000 for Robert Mayer.
Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. That's for 4 servicing laterals for the Greenville Estates subdivision project.
This is the contractor or the landowner or?
They're the contractor. So that's providing 3 sanitary sewer laterals to that building.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions or comments on the accounts? Okay. Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Contrary-minded nay. Motion carried. And next we have the deed transfer tax, and again, this is for information purposes only. Again, we're a little down, but that's also for the season, time of year. Any comments, questions on that? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to taxes receivable report. We have a new table this month, September, and as you see, there's a couple weeks left before the next review. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll move on. Reports are complete. We'll move on to charitable receipts for Sarah. That's the Salem Park. Sarah would like the municipality to issue charitable receipts on its behalf for any donations it receives. Do you want to speak to that one? Yes. Okay.
The Sarah's coming along, they got their walking track in now, and there's playground equipment installer. All wood playground equipment being installed this week. It was soft raining a bit. But they've had 2 large loads of gravel donated, so things are looking up. But they have had an offer from a couple different companies, organizations, and of course, looking like other areas have for tax receipts. So their request is similar to what we've done for other areas to have our council here issue those tax receipts, the money being donated to here and then forwarded to Sarah. So I would make the motion that we set that system up for Sarah.
Okay, we have a seconder. Okay, Councillor Elliott seconds that. Any other questions or comments on the charitable receipts for Sarah? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Contrary-minded nay. Motion carried. Next, we have PACE bylaw amendment. The Climate Change Advisory Committee has recommended expanding the current bylaw solely on solar panels to include home energy efficiencies.
So the draft bylaw was circulated. Biggest change is in the definition 2.24 energy efficiency improvements, which expands from just solar to other energy efficient programs. And that carries out through the bylaw as well. So kind of eroded final adjustments to the bylaw, but that's the biggest change, is to expand.
To broaden,
Yeah,
to broaden it, so it's not so focused. Okay?
I would make a motion, Madam Chair, that we broaden the definition of what's fundable under the PACE program.
Okay, so,
And I have a question too, but I'll wait till a second.
okay, perfect. Do we have a seconder for that?
I'll second that.
Okay, it's been seconded by Councillor Parker. Go ahead, Warden.
I'm just wondering the definition of the, I take it that the PACE organization has a standard definition probably that they use for these other home energy efficiencies. Can you expand a little on that, Brian, as to where the limit is on that type of thing, or will we be putting efficiencies in a home that perhaps isn't up to putting money into? How is that decided? If you want to put insulation, say, in your house, is that covered under this? Is that one of the
Yes.
efficiencies?
Yeah, it's in 2.4. Yeah, 2.4. So it's window, door replacement, lighting, grid water recovery, flow fixtures, caulking, weather stripping, air sealing, insulation, high efficiency heat pumps, solar. Photovoltaics, I guess. Whatever it is, battery energy storage, heat and cooling system upgrades, electrical charging stations, and improvements determined to be cost effective.
Okay, and I'm just wondering about, at some point, somebody inspects the home or whatever it is, see if it's, I know I just worked with somebody under provincial program. And they had to come and inspect everything in the home before they would give money to fix something. Because they didn't want to be, well, the way it put it to me is they didn't want to be pumping a lot of money into a house that was almost ready to call it out there.
Yes.
That is governed by a pace, isn't it?
Correct.
They look after determining whether that's a house that we should be looking at.
And I believe there, for some of the studies, the assessment has to be concluded prior to, because there has to be a return on it. As well, that are needed, so.
Okay, I take it that I'm assuming the pace is looking after all of this, that we don't have to be involved, but anyway, put the tail up. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, any other questions or comments on the bylaw amendment? Okay, questions from call. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary-minded nay. Motion carried. Okay, next we have a request for funding. A letter was received from the Snowmobilers Association of Nova Scotia on behalf of the Pictou County Snow Riders and the Dalhousie Mountain Snowmobile Club requesting funding to assist with the defibrillator unit for each building. A letter was received from Don Stewart, president of the Snowmobilers Association of Nova Scotia, kind of explaining what these two locations clubs have been used for over the past, and requesting that we assist in providing a defibrillator unit for each building. Open the floor up. So we want to make a motion. Pardon me?
Can I speak now?
Yes, you can.
Thank you very much. So the only reason I wanted to speak was currently we're working with community halls on a grant project.
Mhm.
And it's likely that we could apply as part of the grant for these defibrillators for these two places. So I just wanted to make that known. That's what we're working on currently.
So you have what you're saying is there's going to be an opportunity for organizations to apply for defibrillators in the future, kind of like we did in the past. That's
So it's an ACO grant currently that we're working with, and it's for comfort centers or community halls. It's to strengthen them in the
Mhm.
communities. So I'm working on a package right now for our comfort centers. And
Okay.
it's likely that we could include these two organizations within that.
okay.
I just wanted to sort of get that out here.
Right off the get go. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. All right. Thank you, Evan. All right, Councillor Boyles.
Yeah, you got the question about on that?
Yeah, we do.
Because, no, I was gonna say, I know that we came after the board for the Red Cross and that, look for them, and I think other people asked for the bid wires, but they were always told to go, there were questions for February for the, so it good if we got a grant, okay?
Okay. Thank you, Councillor Boyles. Councillor Bueller.
Thank you very much. I think this is a great thing to do because we did it a few years ago and by buying it in bulk. Like if we just were getting 2 of them, it'd be so much, but if we're getting 20 of them, it's going to be a better price for everybody. Okay? No, but I mean, it's a better price for us to buy, be able to give them. Thank you.
Okay. Councillor Parker.
I'll make a motion that we refer this request from the Snowmobile Association of Clubhouses to apply through the program that Mr. Hale spoke about.
David Seconder. Deputy Warden Murray. Any other final comments or questions? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Contrary-minded nay. Motion carried.
They should do that in all of this.
Yes, they should be, yes, notified of the proposed application to COA. Okay, number 9, we have Pictou County Colchester boundary signage. Councillor Elliott has requested that council consider a welcome sign at the Colchester Pictou County boundary. Quotes and pricing for a 4x8 sign and installation will be available. Councillor Elliott.
Thank you. I'm requesting on behalf of residents and myself that the sign of the Colchester Pictou County boundary be replaced based on the quote shared with tonight's agenda, and also I'd be happy with your coding on that sign. And with the length of time since this discussion first began, which is over 2.5 years, it's very pleasing to finally reach this point so that the people can see that although it does take time, that there's a process, and when we finally get there, it's nothing but positivity for them to see this goal reached. And I would like to make a motion for the pricing and the installation based on the code that's included in this package, and I move that we could accept either coding and for the installation and the price of the sign. And I'd like to have someone second that motion for me, please.
So second.
Okay, it's moved and seconded. Just to be clear, which, you gotta pick one that you'd like, the Victor Advocate. That's a 6 millimeter aluminum composite and automotive clear coat for $618, or the auto trim and sign 6 millimeter aluminum composite with exterior UV coating for $659.
Whichever council decides it's strictly fine with me. I'm just very pleased to have the sign.
Okay, so we have a mover and seconder, Councilman Turner.
The second.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just warning that I think that we really should consider the one with the UV coating. Because if it doesn't have a UV coating, it'll be faded in 3 to 5 years. So the autumn one's clear coat. I'm not sure whether that has UV coating in it. So perhaps you want to check on that. But if it's not UV coated, it will be toast in 3 to 5 years.
Okay, thank you for that insight. Ward Parker.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just to add to what Council Turner said, I've had some of these ones with the UV coating signs on. They're as good 12 years later as they were when we got them. I'm not saying trim sign I can show. So I would say that if they're that close, we should go with that one. But I just want to support the idea of that sign being there. Like John Elliott said, it was asked for 2.5 years ago. It kind of got held up because we got into discussions of the big sign on the 104 coming over from Truro. And it was thought that, okay, when that goes through, we'll do it at the same time. And so Dean's was one of them to help us with that. But that didn't materialize. Maybe it will in the future, but it didn't materialize for this year. But for the price of the sign, it would be a shame to hold up that coming in on number 6. There is a lot of traffic enters our county through that number 6 down Sunrise Trail, and they don't even know they're coming from Cumberland to Colchester to Pictou. They don't even know they're coming into Pictou County. If we don't let them know they're here, that's not saying much for our county. And I know people that they're very much in support of, and that have mentioned to me, the Warden Steve there in Riverdale and other times. So I strongly support the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Warden. Any other final comments? Go ahead, Councilor Wyden.
Yes, it's just a Victor County sign is almost,
Oh, welcome to Victor County.
welcome to Victor County, okay, and Dean's saying the entire cost. Right?
No, it's-
They were paying some.
They paid for the sign, okay, thank you.
so we would be on hook for the $659 for the sign, and then the posts and square tube kit for $327.80. 30,000 there. Okay. So the motion's on the floor that we approve this. I guess the feeling around the table from what I'm hearing is the auto trim and signs for the $659 because of the UV coating in it. Is that what I'm hearing, councilors? Yes. Okay. So that's the motion on the floor. Are we ready for a vote? Questions been called. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Contrary-minded, nay. Motion carried. Okay, moving on. Sale of municipal vehicles. So municipality, Pictou County staff issued a tender for the sale of 3 municipally owned vehicles in June 2023, and it closed on July 11th, 2023. And there was a summary of bids there provided in our package. And so given the bids received, staff recommends that council approve the sales of these vehicles as follows. So it was the highest bidder. So the 2014 Dodge Ram 2,500 and the amount of $2,501, Dan Fortune. 2009 Chevrolet 1,500, $3,000, Janet Pettipaw. And 2014 Ford F-150, $4,325 to Colin Chislett. And that has been
Two of the three.
okay. Okay.
I can speak to.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So the reason why we put this back on the agenda
Sorry.
is that of the three vehicles, we awarded, following council's ultimate approval, we awarded the three vehicles to the three highest bidders noted in this summary from July 13th. However, two of the three have not responded to our notification that they have been awarded the vehicles. So the first vehicle, the 2014 Dodge Ram 2500, we have received response. That one's to go ahead. The second one, we have not received any kind of we have received a response, sorry, and the winning bid for $3,000 to Janet and David Pettipaw. They no longer want the vehicle. And then the next bidder in that one for $501, Dan Fortune, would want the vehicle. And the third vehicle, Colin Chislett, the person to whom it had been awarded for $4,325, has not responded to our requests. So I'd like to, and we've contacted the second bidder, Donald M. Grant, and we're waiting for a response from that person as well. So what we're looking for tonight is for some direction from this committee and ultimately council in the end to move on to the next bidders until we get one of these bidders that's already provided a quote to purchase the vehicle. We had named the three awarded parties in our documents at council, so that's why we brought it back to this committee before just going on to the next highest bidder solution.
Okay, so that would be Dan Fortune for the 2009 Chevrolet 1500 and then Donald M. Grant for the 2014 Ford F-150.
That is correct. However, we have not heard back from Donald.
Okay, so I need to contact him. Okay, so we need a motion. Councilor Connors made that motion. Is there a seconder? And seconded by Deputy Warden Murray. Any other questions or comments? Go ahead, Deputy Warden.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just wondering if we should note the two of the backed out that we don't receive tender for delivery anymore.
Can't do it.
I don't think you can possibly do that, but I think you could say it. Yeah.
Go ahead, Karen.
Madam Chair, I was just wondering if we could word the motion in a way that if Mr. Grant is not interested, that we could go to the next.
Yes, that's what.
You read it.
Yes, that's great. Okay, that's agreed to. Mover and seconder.
Yes, that's what,
Wonderful.
that's what it meant.
Me too. Me too. Okay. All right. Seeing no more questions or comments, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Recommended A. Motion carried. Before we go on to committee announcements, I would just like to make a little remark here on the microphones this evening. I noticed a huge difference. I don't know if anybody else does, but I noticed a big difference in the sound quality of everyone that spoke this evening. So I'd just like to thank staff for getting this together for us because it does make such a difference. Sometimes it's really hard to hear in here. So I appreciate that. All right. This is going to be one of my records as well, Councilor Palmer. I'll open the floor up to community announcements. Yes, Councilor Boyles.
You know, I'm under community announcements, but it's from our community and it's a concern, so I'm just wrong. But the last few weeks, there's been two, man with a gun out in the Delaney Road and in the area hillside. It wasn't in the area hillside, it was down Little Harbor. It was between the Egypt Road and the Chanchar Road and Little Harbor, up on the hillside. So we're gonna have to get something done about that. Because people are not too appreciative. Hillside always given the bad name.
Thank you. Councilor Wells, go ahead, Councilor Butler.
Yes, next Sunday, the 24th of October, and from 2 until 4 in the afternoon, District 1 is going to have a meet and greet. As we know, as we can all attest to, we've got a lot of new residents in our communities. And so the purpose here is to strive to invite these residents up to our community hall in Lismore. And to as well have some seasoned people there. We've invited the warden, so it's part of the event is the warden's tea. But we'll be using part of the funds that have been allotted to our district, the $1,500. We'll use part of that money to sponsor this event. So if any of you are interested, you're more than welcome to attend.
Thank you, Councilor Butler. Warden Parker.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And just to correct on, I think it's the 22nd on Sunday. That's the day I'm going. I'll be there by myself. And but on the same day, before I head down to Lismore, so the Sarah, the Salem group, recreation group, is having a fun day for the children, the little children, just for Halloween, but a little bit early before things get carried away. And so I'm actually using some of the money that we each got. How much did we each get?
$1,500.
$1,500. So I'm using some of that to help with this event. I don't know how well used it's been, but it's there for the state purposes. So they'll have everything from face painting to, they're gonna have some bouncy castles, they're gonna have lots of stuff there, but being held at the West River Fire Department, not at Sarah, because of the construction work going on in the field there, they want to take a chance of the construction work ongoing at the same time. So, hope for the best, Tyler, and when I get my costume off, maybe I'll leave it on and head down.
Head down there.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Perfect, thank you. Councilor Thompson.
Yes, this Saturday, there's a roast beef dinner in Plymouth Fire Department. It's a takeout. It's $15 a plate. Call phone number there. Joanne Cumminger, I think that's her phone number, 752-8657. Don't go by memory, so I couldn't be long. So that's this Saturday in the pickup times from 4 to 6. And then next on the 28th, the Springville Church and Community Hall are hosting they're starting up their Hunter's Breakfast, and it's been about 2 to 3 years since before everything shut down that they've had this event. So there's a lot of excitement in the community. So that's from the Hunter's Breakfast will go on for probably 6 weeks, and there'll be $12 a plate, and they open at 6:30 in the morning, and they're there till 10. And it's great. I know Chester's going to be there one way or another. All right, thanks.
Sounds delicious. Go ahead, Councilor Elliott.
It's just a reminder that there's a public meeting Wednesday, this Wednesday, October the 18th, starting at 6:30. The John River Community Hall is the land use planning. And I hope we have a good turnout there.
See you there. Okay, any other final comments or sorry, not comments, community announcements? No. All right, well, with that, we're adjourned. Thank you all for coming this evening. Yeah. That's efficient.
Peter.